Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Computer America Show. Again, we have a great program planned for you tonight. In the second hour, we're going to do computer technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we're going to talk to a company that has some very interesting products. For example, if someone tries to block their caller ID and you get that unknown caller, this company has a solution for you where you can still see who's calling you. They can't be anonymous. Trap Call is the name of the product. We're going to be talking to him. And they have other interesting things like Spoof Call, which will actually allow you to change your caller ID.
1 minute until showtime.
On the fly. It's just a very, very interesting company, and we're going to have them here, TelTech Systems, in the first hour. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We'll be starting in a minute.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
It sounds like you had to think about that for a moment.
Yeah, I don't know if I gave myself a promotion yet or not, and decided to become overlord of Computer America. But yeah, no, I'm gonna stay with co-host for now. Your position is safe.
I like overlord of Computer America. That's a nice ring to it.
Thank you. I will be using it shortly.
Okay. Well, you changed the name, so you might as well change your title too. What the heck, anything goes, I would think at this point. But anyway, it is Thursday, and interesting show last night. We had Mike Cermak on talking about all kinds of things, and of course our contests are in full swing. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But if you haven't entered into our Computer America contest yet, you need to do so. And I mean, we're giving away all these great prizes. No reason why you shouldn't take advantage of that. Just go to our contest page at ComputerAmerica.com under Interact pull-down menu. Let's see, what else? We have computer news, computer and technology news in the second hour, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. And let's see, anything else you want to talk about, Ben, or mention before we get started? How was your day?
The day went fine. No complaints. No complaints.
Okay, good. Well, if you have a comment or a question about anything we're talking about tonight, give us a call. It's 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at ComputerAmerica.com. If you're radio shy, you don't want to go in the air, it's a great way to get your question in. You can also join us in our live interactive chat room. From our homepage at ComputerAmerica.com, it says interact with the show there on the toward the right side of the homepage, and there's a button that says chat and /live video. Just click on that. You'll get a sort of a split screen on the left-hand side. You'll have our chat room entry form. Just put in a username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you straight into the chat room. A lot of people are in there. Our guest tonight is in there as well. I'm sure they would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you as well. The other thing that you can do is not only can you listen to the Computer America Show, you can watch the Computer America Show. That's right, we have live streaming video. So you can see myself, you can see my co-hosts, and tonight you'll be able to see our guest as well on our live Computer America video streaming page. Just when you go to that page, it'll just start up automatically, and just watch it and enjoy it. So that's how you can interact with us, and I think now we're just we'll get started.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this company, the products that this company has had over the years, called TelTech Systems. And they say they take pride in creating astonishing, unique telephony applications which advance the way people use their phones and their internet connections. For example, one of the products is called Spoof Card. You can use your phone and the internet to spoof your caller ID. In other words, so instead of people seeing that it's you calling, you can actually change the caller ID, and if you put in the number, it'll actually it'll look it up and actually give the actual name of the company or the person's name, caller ID. So that it'll just do that for you. It'll also record your calls. We can even disguise your voice so no one can recognize you on the phone. But tonight we're going to be speaking about something called Trap Call. Now, for those of you who are on the receiving end of this, and someone calls you and you look at your phone, you want to see what it is, and it says unknown or call blocked. I love that one.
Well, Greg, you can't expect to know everybody.
No.
There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, right, exactly. But usually when that happens, it's some telemarketer or somebody you don't want to, have a conversation with. You certainly would like to know who it is. That's the whole purpose of caller ID. Well, tonight we're going to be speaking about a product called Trap Call that shows you who's on the calling end, even if they try and block it. They do that *69, whatever it is, it's not going to work. You're still going to see who they are. Now, the way they do this is very interesting, and I certainly want our listeners to hear about it. Now, joining me to tell you all about these services and how they work is Ethan Garr. Ethan is the general manager of Trap Call. Ethan, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks a lot for having me today, Craig. We're really excited to be here.
Yeah. Now, TelTech, tell us a little bit about the company TelTech Systems that kind of produces Trap Call.
Sure. TelTech is a company based in South Amboy, New Jersey. I like to call it Silicon Amboy because we have a really cool Silicon Valley-ish office there. We've been around for about 8 years, making these great telephony products, as you pointed out. And Trap Call is our flagship product. It's been around for about 5 years, helping customers with this phone harassment problem, which seems to be becoming only more and more pervasive, and as technology improves. So.
Yeah, well, it seems like every time they make something, then something else comes out to counter it. I do know, for example, one of the phone systems that I use, I actually use a voice over IP service, and one of the features that they include is they have this huge database of telemarketers and phone numbers that really have no business calling you in the first place. And if you check that little box off, it will basically prevent any of those numbers calling you. But there is a problem with that because I had it checked off, and all of a sudden one day I wanted to see what it would do with my Skype call. So I made a Skype call to my phone, and all of a sudden it came up. It wouldn't go through.
Right.
It wouldn't go through, and it turned out after a little investigation that number of Skype number, whatever it was that was using, was being blocked by this mass marketing file that they had created. So I called the tech support people, and they said, well, the only thing you can do now is uncheck it. So I had to uncheck it so it would let Skype calls through. Of course, then that's every telemarketer under the sun true as well, and up until they work it out. But, so not everything is always the perfect answer. So if you can at least have some mechanism so you can always see who's calling you and what that's about, that at least is a step in the right direction. And I think that's basically the idea behind Trap Call, right? Tell us a little bit what Trap Call is and how it helps the people who use it.
Sure. So at its core, trap call unmask block calls. So if you're seeing, as you pointed out, no caller ID, restricted, private, or unknown on your mobile phone,
Or blocked.
or blocked, yeah, trap call is a tool that's going to unmask that block call. It's really valuable for all sorts of phone harassment. It could be very localized, very personal. It could be crazy ex-girlfriend or boyfriend who decides at 3 a.m. to call you 24 times in a row from a blocked number. But it could be more global. I mean, you've probably heard about these the IRS scam that's been going on since 2010, which I think it's affected 3,000 people to the tune of $15 million.
Wow.
And it almost always starts with a block caller ID. So whether it's a kind of a global problem of big global scam, or just telemarketers bothering you, or if it's someone in your life who's trying to harass you using the phone, trap call is a solution that will do a really good job of helping you stop it, prevent that problem, prevent and stop that problem. We're really trying to encourage people to use it kind of as insurance against that next block call, because they are pervasive. I mean, trap calls actually unmasked more than 12 million block calls, so it gives you an idea of the scale.
Now, I'm listening to this, and people listen to this. There is something else that the phone company provides, and it's called ACR, which stands for Anonymous Call Rejection. And you can set it up on, I think, almost every phone. And what happens is that if you have anonymous call rejection turned on, and then someone tries to call you blocking it, they will in turn hear a message from the phone company that says, the number you have called is not accepting block calls. Please hang up, unblock your call, and make your call normally. So and that seemed to work for a while. But what's wrong with that? Why is that? Why is that not a good thing?
I would say that there's nothing wrong with that. They could also refer to that as a privacy block, and it's certainly useful. It's really from the world of landlines, not as much. I don't believe it exists in the mobile phone world. Again, as your example before, where you turn something on and now it blocks everything. Mm-hmm. Those kinds of things can also come with their own set of problems. So trap call gives you, we hope, a little bit more control, because you're declining the calls that you decide you want to decline. So if your brother calls you at 3 o'clock every day, blocked, and you want to accept that call, you don't have to send it to us to unmask. You can just answer the call. But if you like to,
it sounds like what you're telling me is that you have more selectivity, because with anonymous call rejection, it's blocking everybody. With that telemarketing block from the voice over IP, it's going to block everybody. It's going to do. In other words, you have no individual selectivity with it. It sounds to me like what we're going to be talking about with trap call, and that's not the case with trap call. You can actually do it on a call by caller basis.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, our goal is, as a team, is to give people back their privacy, give them back their phones. That's what trap call is really about. It's not. We've designed a program that's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a program that fits many different needs. So we have different subscription plans. We have different features. We have different things that help different people dealing with different situations.
Okay. I guess my next question is, because you mentioned landline phones. Now, will trap call only work with mobile phones, or will it also work with landline phones?
Currently, trap call works on mobile phones only, and it works on all mobile phones with the largest carriers: Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, Metro PCS, and US Cellular. We're actually excited in the next. I can't say exactly when, but coming soon, we'll be launching a product that will extend trap call's reach actually to all phones, landlines, mobile phones of any type, any carrier, as long as you're in the U.S. or Puerto Rico.
All right. Well, now you mentioned some of the largest carriers. Did trap call or TelTech systems, when they did this, they were able to do this with, my understanding is, without any kind of cooperation with the phone companies that you mentioned, because you really don't need their cooperation to accomplish it with the technology that you have in place. Am I correct in that assumption?
Correct. So the way trap call works is
actually, I want to get into the details.
Oh,
But
sure.
I don't want to give it all away at the top. In other words, so it is it's not a cooperative thing. You didn't need to have a cooperative thing. I mean, because I know trying to get cooperation from an AT&T or something is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, I think what's great about Trap Call is it's designed to solve a specific problem. The phone companies are selling call blocking as a feature. Unfortunately, those robocalls and telemarketers, they make the phone companies a lot of money. So they're not that apt to stop block callers. So it's nice that there are tools out there like Trap Call that lets you take back your phone.
Yeah, and again, you don't need the cooperation of the telco that you're using, and so all right. Well, let's tell a little bit. How does Trap Call work to unmask block caller IDs? First of all, are you breaking anything, any legal things here by doing this?
No, absolutely not. So
Completely.
there's no absolute right to anonymity for your caller ID, and Trap Call is we're using technologies that are out there, patented technologies that we've created to unmask block calls. So it's absolutely legal, and
it's totally legal. All right, so it's totally legal, folks, and that's a good thing to go. So why don't you explain to us the intricacies of actually how Trap Call works to unmask block caller ID calls?
Sure. So once you get a subscription to Trap Call, we take you through an activation process where we set your conditional call forwarding feature. What conditional call forwarding is, it's a feature on most everyone's mobile phones that decides what happens when you decline a call, when you don't answer a call, or if you're on another call at the time.
Sure.
Different from unconditional call forwarding. Unconditional call forwarding is when you tell your phone to call, anytime you get a call a different number.
Right.
This is only what happens when you decline or don't answer a call. And what we do is, rather than normally your conditional call forwarding is set to call your voicemail. So if you decline a call, it calls your voicemail. With Trap Call, when you decline a call, we've set your conditional call forwarding to point to a Trap Call phone number. So the incoming call, whether it's blocked or unblocked, if you declined it, instead of going to your voicemail, will come to us. We work our magic, we unmask it, and then in real time we ring it back to you unmasked so that you can see exactly who's calling. And at that point, you can either answer it or decline it and send it to voicemail.
Wow. So now it sounds like a lot of things that are going on. I mean, but is this all happens within a few moments? Are we talking a few seconds? Are we talking minutes? I mean, how fast are you able to perform this magic?
Do you need a sandwich before you start this process?
Hopefully not. No. It's a pretty quick process. It's going to depend on a few things with your carrier and other things like that. But you should get the call back within at the most 10 to 12 seconds. And the person who's calling you is just going to hear ringing the whole time. So it shouldn't be any different for them than a regular call.
Okay. So, but hopefully, as with any other calls, after I'm ringing something, and after 5, 6, 7, 8 rings, I'm starting to get a little antsy, or say, oh, they're not home, and I just sometimes I don't wait for the. I mean, there's a certain threshold that people are going to wait before they say either I got a wrong number or something is not right, right?
Yeah, I would say typically we're well below that threshold. I would say typically the whole process is not a long enough period where the caller on the other end gets frustrated and hangs up.
Okay. Well, if it's a telemarketer, then they're going to get frustrated anyway. But I think the most the software will say after like 9 or 10 rings, they're just going to just move on to the next number, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be nearly that many.
Okay. All right. Well, that's an important feature. That's an important fact. So basically, and this happens all transparently, all automatically. Now, how do I set something like this up? I mean, do I go to a website? Do I do it through my smartphone? How does it work?
So Trap Call you can get at www.trapcall.com or through the App Store. It's available on both Android and iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the app for it to work, but it'll certainly be an enhanced experience if you have the app,
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to be able to give you your blacklists, voicemails, call lists, and if you have our Ultimate Plan, recordings, all in one place, right with you on your mobile phone. And you won't obviously have to, with the app, you don't have to sign in through a browser. But whether you sign up through the web or not, essentially you're going to choose a subscription plan, and as soon as you do that, we're going to bring you through our activation process. We're going to show you an activation code or codes to dial. These are essentially setting your conditional call forwarding. And the only thing you got to be careful there is the codes are going to say things like *71 and a phone number, or pound 004 pound. It's really important for users that they dial those codes exactly, making sure to include those special characters, because that's what's going to tell your phone, hey, point my conditional call forwarding to this number.
Mm-hmm. Now, that number that I'm pointing it to, is that something that I set up with the trap call? They know that number is now associated to my phone? Is that how it works?
Correct. We're gonna give you an activation code that you're gonna dial, and that's gonna set your conditional call forwarding to that number on an ongoing basis.
And then once you get, so when someone calls my phone, and then it gets routed to your system, and it's expecting it, and then how do you strip off the caller ID and then send it back to me? How does that work?
So you're asking, how does the magic work? Well, using some proprietary software, what we do is we take that number. We have decoding tools that some very smart engineers that I'm really lucky enough to work with have designed to take that number. They run it through a bunch of different systems. It unlocks it basically decrypts it and allows us to put it into a format that we can then send back to you essentially as a phone call.
Now, I heard, and I guess maybe this is proving that what I heard is true, that law enforcement, if you call law enforcement and you block your call, they have a way of seeing your call. You can't block your call to a law enforcement agency. Now, so obviously when you block the delivery of your number, the number is still in there. They've just set a flag or sent something so that my caller ID won't be able to see it. And what your magic process is, you know what those flags are, and you reset them, and so then you see the number, and then you send them back to them. Is this really what's going on?
Yeah, it's definitely beyond my pay grade in terms of the technology, but in a nutshell, yeah, that's what's happening. I actually I don't know that law enforcement can see your call en masse, because we've worked with law enforcement before who have come to Trap Call looking for answers. So I'm not sure if that's if they have that technology.
That could be an urban legend. Yeah, I always thought that you can't, when you call a police station or you dial 911, but you dial *67 and then dial 911, they're still going to know where you are.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's there's some homework for you. Just try to prank call 911 as many times as you can using all the different products. See what happens.
Yeah. No, I don't think.
I was gonna say, every time I've tried to prank call 911,
doesn't work.
No.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So I believe your number is in there, and the 911 centers or law enforcement, whatever, they have a way of stripping that off, or not stripping it off, just basically setting it so they can see where it's coming from.
Sure.
So that's the assumption I'm working with, and then you evidently, or your smart engineers, have kind of figured out what those flags are and settings are, and have been able to reveal the number that's coming into Trap Call, and then so they can then turn around and send that number back to me with that unmasked call.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, and again, you're not doing anything illegal here. I mean, this is a perfectly legal. I mean, the point is it who has the right? Is it the person who has more of a right? Is the person who's making the call wants to remain anonymous, or the person that is accepting the call wants to know who it is?
Are you more powerful than anyone else?
No, I mean, the point is, if someone rings my doorbell and I look through the peephole, I want to see who it is. I don't want some guy with a mask standing in front of my door. I'm not going to open the door and let that person in. I want to know who it is. And I think it's the same. Isn't it the same idea with a phone? The call. I mean, if you don't, you have a right to know who's ringing your number.
Sure. I think especially in this time of day when people are using the phone for harassment, for purposes that it certainly wasn't intended for, I think having a tool that unmasks block caller ID, it's putting the power back in the consumer's hand, and hopefully protecting them from some what can be really scary situations. I mean, I think the thought of someone calling you in the middle of the night when you're alone and that's just heavy breathing on the other side. It can be pretty terrifying for people. And we're fortunate in our office. We sit in a big open space, so we hear the calls coming into our TS department, and they're a fantastic group of people. We really pride ourselves on great customer support, and we hear some of the stories. I hear why people are calling us, and usually, when they find trap call, it's because they're having something bad is happening to them, and they're looking for a solution. So it's from that perspective. I think the person being harassed deserves this kind of tool.
I would think so. Now, it's nice to know. So, for example, somebody's got their audio on. I can hear an echo. I don't know if it's Ben or if it's you, Ethan. I don't know if it's the audio coming from it. But anyway, so if you start getting the harassed call, you're getting and then at that point you can call trap call, and I install trap call. That person still has no way of knowing that then the next time they call me, and I'm going to see who it is, I'm going to know. How long does it take to really implement trap call from the time that you say, I really want to put this on? How long is the average time to install it?
I would say the average time from once you complete the sign up process, you should be up and running within 3 to 5 minutes at most. It's a pretty simple process. It's just a matter of dialing a couple of activation codes, not forgetting those special characters when you dial them, and then you're set. We actually right after that we take you through a practice call, which teaches you exactly how to unmask the call, and it's also a way for us to test that your activation is set up properly. So it's a nice simple process. We test it, we make sure it's working, and at the same time we show you, hey, if you get a block call, just decline it. That'll send it to us. Here it is unmasked, and now you can see who's calling.
So, so in other words, let's give me the real-time example. So let's say Ben blocks the delivery of his phone. He's calling me, and I don't see his number because it says block call. Do I have to do something at that point to activate trap call, or does this just happen at all times? That when he calls me, or anybody calls me.
Let's see. If I was calling you, I'd assume the first thing you need to do is go see if your refrigerator is running.
No, but I mean, is it always running? I guess is what I'm saying. Is trap call always running and going to do what it's going to do, or do I have to do it on a per call basis?
Trap call is always, trap call stands guard for you all the time. Once you have it set up, your conditional call forwarding stays to that setting until you change it. So the only thing you have to do to unmask his call is decline it.
Oh, so well, how do you know that? How do you know that the call is being masked in the first place? So if he calls me and trap call is unmasking it, I don't.
No, what happens is he calls you and you see no caller ID or unknown or restricted. You're going to decline that call. That's going to send it to us. We're going to unmask it and send it back to you unmasked.
Oh, okay. So actually, I kind of like that, because then you can tell that the call that the person you're about to talk to has intentionally blocked the call.
Correct.
Because if you just let it through, I would never know that they blocked it, and I wouldn't be on my guard then.
Right.
And the person calling me would still think that his or her number is being blocked. I see. So
I do want to say that once you've identified someone as a harasser calling you from that block number, once you see that, you do have tools with trap call that protect you against that person. Specifically, we have a really powerful and robust blacklisting tool. So once you see that Ben is calling you, I'm sorry, Ben, I'm sure you're a nice person, but once you see that it's Ben who's calling you unblocked, if you put his number on your blacklist, and it doesn't even have to be someone who called you blocked. You can put any number on your blacklist. You could just blacklist Ben just because you don't like him. But once you blacklist that number, the next time he tries to call you, you'll decline it again. But this time he'll get a message saying that that your phone has been disconnected, and nobody's going to call you 3 or 4. No one's going to continue to harass you if they think your phone's been disconnected. So it's a really powerful tool to stop the harassment, and that's what Trap Call really is about. It's not just let's show you what's out there. That would be a neat parlor trick. It's really about taking back control of your phone. So we give you blacklisting. We have enhanced name and address caller ID, so if it's available, you'll even see not just his phone number, but Ben's address, his name and his address. We can even do voicemail transcriptions. So say you're in we're sitting here talking, and you get a call from your wife or your daughter. That voicemail will get transcribed into text and sent to you as a text message and email. It's great for if you're in a conference or if you're in a noisy concert where you wouldn't be able to hear your phone. So we have a lot of great features, and we even have enhanced voicemail features, and our premium users enjoy call recording. So
well, let's get into those features after we're at the bottom of the hour, so we'll get into that. But I'm liking this even more now that I know that you have controls, additional features that you can add to this. All right. And again, and then also I want to talk about what costs are and what are some of the other features that we talked about that you are going to talk about. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are talking to Ethan Garr. Ethan is the general manager of Trap Call. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll continue on. We've got our news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston. That's coming up, and then we'll be back. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
So, you came back. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Seagate ST2000DX001 Desktop SSHD. SSHD, not just a hard drive. And not an SSD. You're going to like this. With a special set of storage requirements in mind for populating NAS devices underlying a zero-footprint scanning station, we turn to Seagate for their recommendations and a day and a half later received 2 of their ST2000DX001 drives with some noteworthy attributes. This is a solid-state hybrid drive, SSHD, meaning 8 gig of flash is there as a cache for a big boost in throughput. It's a 3.5-inch desktop, 2 terabyte, 7,200 RPM drive with a 64 meg DRAM cache and a 6 gigabit per second SATA 3, actually 3.1 interface. That's more than enough capacity overhead for our application. It may also be more than enough speed for scanning activities, but that speed makes a significant contribution to speeding up OCR, iris scans, and overnight backup chores. Bottom line, the Seagate solid-state hybrid 2 terabyte, 3.5-inch ST2000DX001 drive puts a premium on speed, less so on price. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Apparently not very well, Craig. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It's 33 minutes past the hour. We have Trap Call here with us. And, there's... I'll be honest with you, sir. The name itself is kind of scary. Not saying it's off-putting. I'm saying it's scary. Trap Call. You're trapping people. It's that kind of thing. So just want to get that out of the way, get that out in the open. But, yes, we are talking to Ethan Garr, who is the general manager of Trap Call, and we were just about to get into some of the features. You mentioned a lot of them there right before the break, and one of the ones that I'm particularly interested in is because you hear them more and more every day, especially when you're dealing with people, or you're dealing with especially the cable companies. If you're dealing with any company that you really want a record of, every time you call any place of business, you get that tone. You get that automated message like, your phone call will be recorded for quality assurance or training purposes or whatever it says. And you know that they're recording your phone call, but yet you don't have a copy of that phone call, which, if worse came to worse and you really needed that, they're not going to hand that over for anything. So it says here that Trap Call, it says that you can actually record phone calls using your service. And I was kind of wondering, how was that handled? Like, because I heard some services only can recall, can only record phone conversations if the call is received, not if you are the one initiating the call.
Right. So, and Trap Call is a service that records inbound phone calls. We're really trying to protect people against inbound phone harassment.
Okay.
Usually, you're not making outbound phone harassment. However, TelTech, we do have another product called Tape Call, which does record both inbound and outbound calls to the cloud. It's available for both Android and iPhone as well, and it's really a fantastic product just because it's really one touch and you're recording conversations. Even if you even if you've already started the conversation, it's not like you have to initiate the recording previous to the call. You can, but you can also do it during the call as well.
Now here comes that big question again. Is that legal? I mean, some states, you have to let both parties know that you're recording, or there has to be an intermittent tone every 15 seconds, something along those lines.
Right. So call recording, there's different states have different laws regarding call recording, and even with Trap Call, where we have inbound call recording, we make sure that users are aware of the risks, and we remind them that it's their responsibility to make sure that they are aware of the risks, the laws regarding call recording. And yet you do have to be very careful, because even though you may be in a one-party recording state, if you're receiving a call from a two-party recording state, you could be violating the laws of that state. So, but we do provide those beep tones that you're talking about and other options so that people can make sure that they comply with the law.
But you can turn those on and turn those off, right? I mean, it's completely up to me, right?
It is. We certainly warn you ahead of time that you should be aware of what you're doing when you turn those on and off.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But it's as a journalist, it's a powerful tool for people who a tape call, for example, is a powerful tool for people who are doing phone interviews. There are very legitimate purposes where you want to record phone calls, you want to record conversations. But yeah, you should make the other person aware of it.
Did we mention that we're recording all of this?
Jonathan in the chat room says he's recording the chat. Exactly.
I think I'm in a one-party state. You didn't even need to mention it.
Right, exactly. All right, so and obviously you have a lot of controls over this, which I like, and you're leaving the responsibility of the legality, I guess, to your subscribers. It's up to them. You have a disclaimer, so that takes you off the hook.
Well, we try not to do it blindly, though. Like we try to present warnings and information so you can make an informed decision.
Now we have a question, I believe, from one of our users in the chat room, and I believe this is from Joy. I believe, is this correct, Ben? Yeah, exactly. She's curious to know: is there a way to download and save the recordings call logs if needed for legal purposes?
Yeah, you have access to your call logs, and if you can actually get a subpoena, and you can get call logs if necessary, if you need to bring them to law enforcement's attention.
Okay. Have you had any cases where that's actually happened that you can talk about? You don't have to give specifics, but have there been some cases where trap call has been used for those purposes?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a legal team that assists users who are engaged in legal disputes where they need this information. And actually, there's a story just last week in Darien, Connecticut. It's really sad and scary. A 15-year-old girl was being harassed by someone from a blocked number, and really scary stuff of a sexual connotation. And she was quoted as saying she was able to. She went to law enforcement and had purchased software to trap the number. So obviously she used trap call to unmask the caller ID, and a 64-year-old lawyer was brought to justice, and that was just I think last week in Darien, Connecticut. So yeah, I mean, trap call is used to help people every day. We actually work with the Center for Search and Investigations. They assist and train families and communities in finding missing children. So they're safeguarding against abduction, trafficking, and exploitation. And every month we get a report from them. We have a program where we work with them and help the people they're helping. And every month we get a report saying how trap call has helped find these lost children. So it's nice to see. It's really wonderful to work with a team and on a product that helps people really every day.
So when that lawyer was caught, when the police knocked on his door, I assume he must have been very surprised.
Yeah.
Did she say, or did she warn him? Said, "Look, I have a way of finding who you are. You better stop calling me." Or did she just didn't? She just let him do,
The news story I read only had that quote. It just said that she was able to trap the number. So obviously, it's amazing. 15 years old, pretty smart and savvy. I hope my 6-year-old would do the same when she's 15. I mean, she'll probably be sick of hearing me talk about trap call by then. Yeah. So she was able to use the technology to help herself, and that's what it's about. It's about like I said, giving people back their phone, their privacy.
Now, tape call is separate from trap call, right? That's a separate product?
Yeah, well, trap call does have recording functionality for inbound calls. Tape call is a separate app.
Now, does tape call record both sides of the conversations, or just one, or what's the difference? I understand tape call just does taping. Does it tape both sides of the conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens is it's a very simple app. It's got a big red button, and when you're either starting a phone call or in a phone call, you press that button, and essentially it sets up a three-way call. But the third leg of that call is our server, and it's recording the conversation between you and the other person.
Now, how long does it take to set something like that up? I assume it's an app you download. Is there a lot? How long does it take to set that up?
It's very quick. You can download Tape Call Lite is our free version. You can download that and probably be recording within I would say a minute. It's very quick, and yeah, it's just a matter of pressing that button. The app will make that second phone call, and you'll enter the phone number you want to dial, and it sets up that call. Now,
does that prevent me from the third One of the things that I have on my phone is that when someone else calls me, I can actually put them on hold and switch, like call waiting sort of a feature. And when I'm using tape-a-call, is that going to prevent that from happening?
No, no, I don't believe so. It'll essentially work in the background.
Okay. So now you mentioned tape call and tape call light. What is the light is the free version? What do you get with the paid version?
It's going to give you basically unlimited recording services, whereas the light version is going to have some limitations on how much you can record.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to trap call. So so we start talking about some of the features that were available, and why don't you just expand a little bit on what was included with trap? Is there a trap call light, or is it just the regular trap call version that has all the features?
It's just trap call. So we have 3 subscription levels. We have our basic plan, which includes all of our plans include unlimited unmasking. So the core functionality, even in our basic program, you can if you're getting 15 block calls in a night or 500 block calls in a night, you can unmask them all. So our basic all of our programs include the call unmasking feature. Mm-hmm. And our basic program also includes blacklisting. Our premium and ultimate products include our larger feature sets. So name and address caller ID, voicemail transcription, enhanced voicemail services, and call recording.
Okay, so which is the one that gives you the name and address?
Basically, premium and ultimate will give you name and address caller ID.
Okay. So now they can see a side-by-side comparison of all the different features of the different plans that you offer. You have 3 different plans. How much does these different plans cost?
So the basic monthly plan is less than $5. Premium is $9.95, and ultimate is only $24.95. And if you purchase a full year, you'll get 20% off that price. And if you purchase 2 years, you'll get 25% off that price. So we tried to design a bunch of plans that work for different people and fit your different needs.
So what is Ultimate giving me that the other 2 don't?
Primarily, it's giving you unlimited voicemail transcription and call recording, whereas Premium is going to give you 10 voicemail transcriptions per month.
Okay, all right. So it depends on what your needs are.
Yeah.
Now, can anybody go? Is it possible to see trap call in action? Have a demonstration of how it works?
Yeah, we have a really simple tool that you can use to track trap call. And I guess during the break I'll post it to your chat room. But basically, if you call us blocked at *671-866-586-9463, you're essentially calling us blocked, and we're going to read back to you your unmasked number. So we're going to show you that we actually can unmask your caller ID.
Oh, so it's an automated system too. So
yeah, it's just a very simple demonstration that shows you that we can in fact unmask calls, because a lot of people, that's their first question is, does this really work? And the answer is yes, it really works.
You should put that. You should put that in the chat room, because then I'll transcribe that to our show notes at computeramerica.com, and then people can see that for the song. Yeah, if you go to our show notes page right now to computeramerica.com, you'll see today's show, which is February the 5th. And you'll see trap call, and we have a link to the trap call website. But what I'm going to do is after I see those numbers, I'll add the additional information that Ethan just gave me, and that'll be up there for all time, so you can try it and see it for yourself. Just go to our show notes page at computeramerica.com.
So real quick, we mentioned that this only works with a certain number of carriers. What is preventing you from working with the carriers that are unsupported? Like, is it maybe in the future sometime you'll have compatibility with them, or is it a hardware thing?
Primarily, it's that they don't offer conditional call forwarding in their packages. These are smaller tier carriers, and they just don't offer that service to their customers. But it's a very good question, and actually we're working on a sort of a sister product to Trap Call that will be available soon. And I think I mentioned this. It will actually it will open up Trap Call's unmasking services and other features to both landlines and really any phone carrier. It'll use slightly different technology, but it will do it'll primarily do the same thing. And we're really excited to launch that in the very near future.
Yeah, that's now. So you have this in place now. what is it you're going to add? And you start telling about some of the things that's coming up next for Trap Call. You said it was going to start working with landlines, and what are some of the other things that we can look forward to?
So right now we're in the middle of an app redesign. We're redesigning both our iPhone and Android apps, and we're also rebuilding the Trap Call websites, and that'll happen all in the matter of the next few months. We're also improving some of our existing features and hoping to add some other features as well to try to make Trap Call an even more robust solution for users.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here. If you want to, you can try the demo. We're actually adding it to the show notes right now, so we're putting the demo number up for Trap Call, and it's important that you do the *67 before you dial the number. And we put that in the number there as well, so you can see it. And by the way, it was just pointed out to me that I said February. I meant to say March. So it's March the 5th, and that's the.
Oh yeah, you never made your silly joke. Hey Ben, where'd February go?
Hey Jen, where did
the crowd went wild?
Well, I didn't make it because I thought you got tired of it. So let's see, where are we? So we talked about how much it costs, and I guess the unlimited transcription is pretty. I should say heavy duty. That's why you have to charge more money for it. More resource intensive for you.
Yeah, I mean, our voicemail transcription services, there are actually in some cases human beings on the. It's not just technology. There's in some cases human beings on the other end, actually helping to put those words to text and making sure everything's correct. So it is a little bit more of a cost-intensive feature for us. So that's why it's available in our premium and ultimate plans.
Now, do you like go online and have an account and set all this up to, let's say, if you know you're going out to a concert, you know you're heading into a meeting, you can kind of flip a switch and turn it on, or is it like, hey, you get 10 a month, and hopefully the first 10 you get isn't just, hi, call me back, and you know.
You could actually, in theory, turn it on and off.
Okay.
All right.
So what features, by the way, do people kind of get to tinker with online? Like, I assume that there's some kind of account that they get to create and then set up their phone. What do they control from the online account?
That's going to, of course, depend on which plan you have. So if you have, obviously, the ultimate plan, we're going to show you your recording features. You'll have different, of course, like turning on the warnings and things like that. How you get those voicemail transcriptions, whether you want to get them by email or text, that's something you can control. Different voicemail features you'll be able to control online as well.
Well, it sounds to me like you're doing a really good job of with this Trap Call. Certainly, it's and while this is a really notable and worthwhile effort, I have to bring up the fact that you do have some other products. You have one which is called Spoof Card, and
Yes.
and what Spoof Card does, it allows you to not necessarily mask your call, but actually change the caller ID number that's displayed on the screen. So tell us a little bit about what Spoof Card does.
Sure. So Spoof Card, as you said, allows you to disguise your caller ID and change your voice and even add background sounds to a phone call. It sounds like a tool for pranksters, but it's really a tool for professionals. People who are known for using it are people like private investigators who will use it when they need to get on the phone with someone and that person will not take their call. They'll use this as a tool like to spoof their caller ID as that person's cousin or friend, so they can try to get through. So we're definitely not promoting it as a tool to cause harm. We don't, we're not encouraging people to do harm with it. We want people to use it for professional purposes.
Right. Well, that begs the obvious question, though. If I'm using Spoof Card and I call somebody who has Trap Call and I've changed my number,
unstoppable force, meet the immovable object.
Will Trap Call show the real number that is actually calling, and what happens what happens there in that situation?
It will unmask the number, but it may not unmask it to the person's original number. But you'd still have the opportunity to blacklist that number.
Okay. All right. Well, now, so those are the 3 products. I know you had some other products earlier, but that you're not carrying them anymore. But people want to find more information about all the products. Should they go to the Trap Call website, or should they go to the TelTech Systems website? Where do they go?
To see the larger portfolio of products, you'd want to go to the teltech.co website. It's again teltech.co, not teltech.com.
Okay.
And all of these products are also available in the app stores. So if you search for any of them in the app stores, you should be able to find them. And we do have some other ancillary products, like we have a great voice recorder product. That's a free app, which allows you to just record. Yeah, if you're at a conference and you want to record the speaker, you just press a button and it records it to the cloud. So we have a couple of other neat tools like that as well, and they should be highlighted on our website and again in the App Store.
Right, exactly. The cost to tape a call?
It's $9.95.
And that's $9.95 a month?
It's $9.95 per year.
Per year. Okay. All right. Well, that's certainly. And you have the ones that you have. So it's tape a call, it's trap call, and spoof card. Those are the 3 products that you make.
Those are the 3 big ones. We also have a product called Call from Work, and a few free products like we have a product called Derp, and we have a voice recorder.
Okay.
And I'm hoping I'm not missing any others.
And again, just if you go to the TelTech Systems website, you can see them all there. And but obviously the trap call, I think, really hit a nerve. A lot of people are very interested in that, especially if you think that you're getting harassing phone calls. You want to know who it is that's calling you. You can do that. The fact that you can also not only get the number, but you get the name, the number, and the address of where that's coming from. Is that all in the caller ID information?
Yeah, there are databases of information out there, and we work with them to bring that enhanced caller ID information to our users.
How accurate is that information?
It depends. It depends, and we give you the most accurate information we can find. But it's going to obviously depend on the caller.
And the caller obviously has the option of, when the call is over, to hang up and call back that number. And I'm sure there'll be a very, very surprised person on the other end saying, "How did you get this number?"
You don't even have to call back. I mean, again, the call gets routed back to you unmasked. You have the option. You can answer it there and say to that person, "Hey, stop calling me. I know who you are." Or you can decline it again and send it to your voicemail.
Or you can start harassing them, calling them over and over.
There's always that.
Oh yeah, well let me show you this. 2 in the morning, I'm going to start calling you.
We're not encouraging people to call blocked, although obviously we're here if they are.
So again, you said you provide some legal information. Is there a charge for that? Is that free? I mean, how does that work?
If we get subpoenaed by law enforcement, we work to comply and help our users out as much as possible.
Got it. All right.
So we do have a legal team within our company.
Right. Well, Ethan, listen, very interesting stuff. Again, I highly recommend you go check it out at Trap Call, and the website again is trapcall.com, trapcal.com. Or you can go to our website at computeramerica.com, click on the show notes page, and we'll have that as well. And then we also have the phone number already posted, the demo phone number, for you to test out Trap Call for yourself. Give it a try and see it in action. Ethan, thanks so much for being with us here tonight on Computer America.
Thank you guys so much. It's really been a pleasure, and thanks for letting us talk to your listeners about Trap Call.
Absolutely.
Our pleasure.
Our pleasure. All right, thanks again. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
All right, there you go. And again, you can see it over at trapcall.com. And I'm almost tempted to make a phone call and just to see how it works. I'll probably do it after the show. Give it a try.
Yeah, no, too many tutorials in a row, because we did have the tutorial with Mike Cermak last night. So too many hands-on experiments. Maybe not the best thing for radio.
Yeah. I understand we're going to have some computer news stories coming up. Wow. You sent them 40 minutes ago? I never got them, Ben. What's going on?
All right, well, I'll resend them. But yeah, we have news stories. We're going to be discussing current events in science, technology, news, and maybe a little bit of pop culture. The big thing that everyone is currently talking about is this came out about 3 hours ago, maybe 4 hours at this point. Harrison Ford, yes, Indiana Jones has indeed been hospitalized really briefly while his plane crashed on a golf course. Luckily, there were doctors on the golf course that were able to help him
When you say,
somehow.
when you're saying his plane crashed, was he flying the plane, or he was
He
just?
was flying the plane.
Oh, so he's a pilot. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was like one of those old school, propeller
Yeah.
single engine planes.
So it could glide. So would he run out of gas or something and forgot to go?
I do not believe they've done the autopsy on the plane yet, but yeah, no, they said he got a couple of lacerations and a couple of cuts and scrapes and things like that. But all in all, he is going to make a full recovery.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, listen, it's been bad. We lost Spock, this past week.
I know, can't be losing all of our action stars.
Yeah, none of our Indiana Jones. We can't lose him. No, exactly. It's too many.
So we got that. We have Tesla is offering $10,000 to anyone who can hack their car.
Really?
Yep. There is the NVIDIA Shield that we've talked about. That's the console using NVIDIA's graphics card and things like that. Is able to stream not only video games to consoles and televisions, but as well as 4K video.
Whoa!
All inside the NVIDIA Shield controller, which is really, really cool. A couple more. There's
Well, I'll tell you what. You send them to me, and I'll take us out. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. We've got another News Tips Bullet review from Marty Winston coming up in the next hour. You're listening to the Computer America Show, and we'll be right back. Oh, I just got the stories. Hey, this is working again. Technology is a wonderful thing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And again, thanks to TelTech Systems. That trap call looks really cool. I mean, how many times have you gotten a block call and you just want to know who it was? And now you can just tap a little thing, and you can see immediately who it is.
See, but that's just the thing. Like, it would be nice to see it immediately. Who it is, just on caller ID, so you can kind of save yourself some time. But like they weasel themselves in with the block number or the hidden number and things like that, and then you pick up, and then they just immediately launch into their spree. It's just like, hey, would you like a timeshare? And like, they got me, and then you just hang up immediately. Like, it's still stressful, but
Yeah, but at least if it's not a block call, you'll know who it is. Unless you're in the habit of picking up block calls, which I don't like to do. But
I don't block many people.
No, you don't.
I'm easygoing. What can I say? I like people.
Well, I think let's do some computer news stories in this hour. We teased a few of them, so let's go ahead and do them right now. Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right. Everything at slimwareutilities.com is completely free. That's right. It's none of this download it now and use it for a day and then we pay more. No, none of that. It's all free. And you should download all of their products at slimwareutilities.com. Keep them in the reserve. When you need them, use them. You'll be happy that you did, and you'll thank us for it. slimwareutilities.com. And in this first story, Maximum PC, Paul Lilly, we talked about the Steam computer. Evidently, Maingear unveils Drift Steam machine and is starting to take pre-orders. The Drift PC console moves full steam ahead. I like that. It's taken a lot longer than anticipated.
Fun work.
Yeah.
Fun work. It is the cornerstone of Computer America.
Yes, it is. It's taken a lot longer than anticipated, but official Steam machines are scheduled to release in November of this year. Let's see, it's March now. So, okay. Valve announced at this year's Game Developer Conference. That means you can expect plenty of Steam machine announcements, some of which have already started rolling in. One in particular is Maingear's Drift, an ultra-compact Steam machine and gaming PC that you can pre-order today and have it in your hands next month. How is it possible to own a Steam machine before November, you may ask? Well, we'll tell you. SteamOS won't arrive until November, but as we've seen, OEMs and boutique builders aren't waiting around. They're shipping systems now that run on Windows and have the option of booting directly into Steam's big picture mode. So it goes with Maingear's Drift. See, it offers full-size desktop performance in a console unibody constructed from aluminum. There are several color options, and for a fee between $200 and $300, Maingear will happily paint the chassis using Glaceret paint, the same paint that goes on the likes of Porsche and BMW. Boy, nice.
Nice indeed.
Yeah. There are two main and customizable configurations to choose from. The first is the Drift with an Intel Pentium Anniversary Edition G3258 processor slipped into an MSI H81 motherboard, 8 gigs of DDR3, 1600 RAM, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 750 Ti graphics card, nice, 500 gigabyte Seagate Barracuda hard drive. It's a Barracuda hard disk drive. That means it's rotating at 7,200 RPM, which is the upper echelon of magnetic hard drives. There are some that spin at 10,000, but 7,200 is pretty darn fast. An 8X DVD burner, 450-watt Silverstone PSU, and Windows 8.1 64-bit. And this configuration, this amazing configuration, starts at merely $949. What a deal!
$949?
Yep.
Yeah, these Steam machines aren't cheap. Like, they're not coming around in the console range. The console range being anywhere from $300 to $400 or so dollars. They're coming in where high-end gaming PCs are, coming in.
Yeah, but as you said, it's a PC. It's not just a console.
Yep, but I feel like they're competing against consoles. So if anything is going to make them fail, it's the fact that they're going up against consoles and they're not even in the same price range. But the only thing that might help them is that they're in the same market as a gaming PC and they are competitive. So really, you've got to wonder if they're, if the the market will be able to, kind of work that whole thing out.
Well, we shall see, right? Anyway, there's a second starting point. That was the first one. Then there's a second starting point, and that's the Drift SS, beginning at $1,949.
Oh, really? Only $1,000 more? Neat.
Yeah.
Does it come with two?
Yeah. Now for that, you get bumped up to an Intel Core i5, 4590 CPU, a gigabyte Wi-Fi motherboard, Maingear Epic 120 supercooler, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970 graphics card, and a 250 gigabyte Samsung 850 EVO solid-state drive to go along with the 500 gigabyte hard disk drive. So there it is.
Unfortunately, just from hearing the specs, that sounds about like, because the graphics card is probably close to a $400 graphics card or something like that. Mm-hmm. The motherboard probably about $250. Everything like everything you just rattled off there sounds to be about I put in about $1,000 worth of parts. So it
Wow.
sounds like you're paying a premium for the case, because they said they put a lot of effort in the case and the look of it, as well as the paint itself, and probably just the form factor, because this is all probably built in a tightly controlled steam machine. And then you're also paying for the novelty of it all, because this is one of the first steam machines.
Yep.
So the raw parts are probably not worth $2,000, but you're paying $2,000 for the look and the novelty of it.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So,
all right.
Unfortunately, like that's exactly what I'm talking about, though. People who are building their own gaming PCs, they're going to know that when they read the specs, they're going to know they could just get a bigger case and slap it all in themselves and save themselves $700, or put that $700 towards a better processor, put that towards a better graphics card,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. So I wish them the best. Steam machines have been a long time coming, and I'm glad that they're finally here. I just really don't like the price points that they're coming in at.
Okay. All right. All right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I hear you.
You hear me? Okay. So this next article, this one is crucial. We have one about Lockheed Martin claiming that they're seriously close to sustainable fusion, but instead we're going to do this one. This one from Popular Science, and it is water repellent paint punishes revelers who use street as a public toilet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So peeing in public is the worst. If you do it, shame on you. And unfortunately, in major cities with any kind of nightlife, the stench in the streets is incredibly annoying and disgusting part of life. But residents of Hamburg, Germany's bustling St. Pauli neighborhood figured out a solution. They located some of the areas that late night revelers frequently turned to, and painted them with hydrophobic paint. Because the paint repels liquid, the splashback is a bit more severe, and it actually splashes back onto the offender.
Good.
And it's one of the fastest iterations of karmic justice ever. So they have a video, and they have kind of like we are St. Pauli in Hamburg, Germany, and we are taking our streets back. Pretty much they coded they put up signs in a lot of places. They didn't put them on every single place they put this paint, but they put signs everywhere saying, hey, go find a bathroom. Don't just pee anywhere. And they actually showed a couple people, kind of offending, and it immediately went on their shoes. Like, it bounced off the wall at a much more severe angle, and it bounced back on their shoes, which promptly made them stop.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah. So that's actually just one of two stories tonight about hydrophobic uses, but I thought that was pretty funny.
Very clever. Yeah, exactly.
Good use for hydrophobic paint.
Yes, it is. Excellent. Now I know you're. We're having our Logitech contest, and we really like what Logitech has to offer, and evidently we're going to give you a first look now. You get it from Maximum PC at the latest from Logitech, their G303 Daedalus Apex Performance Edition. This is a mouse that looks really amazing, and it's a corded mouse. So Ben, I think this is something you might be interested in. It's the same compact G302 chassis, but with new and improved sensors. Logitech recently came out with the Maximum PC lab to show off its new premium gaming mouse, the G303 Daedalus Apex. Where did they come up with these names? What is the Daedalus Apex? Apex. I know what
Apex is the height of something.
Apex Predator. I know that's the top of the chain. Yeah. So the Daedalus Apex. I gotta see what the Daedalus means. Anyway, if you're thinking it looks just like the G302 Daedalus Prime, that's because it uses the same lightweight and portable body, which weighs just 87 grams. Now Logitech says this is the enthusiast version of the G302, thus the Performance Edition moniker. Now the main feature that allowed the G302 to stand out was that it was originally designed as a MOBA mouse and had a new metal spring tensioning system. The system is guaranteed for at least 20 million clicks. That would be, what, about 3 nights of gaming for you, Ben? Which
Pretty close.
Yeah, which Logitech says is equivalent to a pro gamer practicing 10 hours a day, every day, for 2 years. Now, more importantly, however, the spring mechanic eliminates the air travel time between the 2 buttons and activating commands. Wow. This ensures a speedy, consistent clicking experience. The G303 maintains that system along with the G302's 5 DPI settings, but the Apex also has a few tricks up its sleeve. Listen to this. The biggest addition to the Delius is the PMW3366 sensor, which Logitech uses in the bigger G502. While it isn't as fast as its G402 sensor, which uses an optical gyroscope hybrid solution, which allows it to travel up to 12.5 meters a second, Logitech considers the PMW3366 to be its most accurate sensor. Logitech says this makes it about 2 to 3 pixels more accurate than the G302. And while the company admits that this isn't a monumental improvement, says that it should amount to a slightly more responsive and accurate feel for the end user. Logitech also asserts that the sensor mitigates unwanted mouse acceleration and adds zero smoothing. That's nice. The Apex offers a DPI range between 200 and 1200 DPI. In addition, the sensor is much faster, going from a cap of 120 inches per second to 300 inches per second, and its predecessor. Logitech says this is fast enough for any real-world use, and it's able to achieve this speed by the sensor's clock turning ability, which also helps prevent degradation of speed over time.
Clock tuning ability.
Clock tuning, yes, thank you. What did I say? Clock tuning, yes. This essentially extends the life of the mouse. That's nice to know. To top it off, the sensor also features sensor surface turning. Sensor surface turning.
Tuning.
Tuning.
I'm seeing a pattern, folks.
Yeah. Which tunes.
Which turns.
No, it tunes. Which tunes the mouse. Which tunes the mouse. Hey, it's tough enough. You know, the mouse's parameters to match your desk surface for a consistent scrolling experience. All of this on top of a 32-bit ARM processor. Again, all built into this mouse. Now, beyond the sensor movements, Logitech is also jumping on the RGB train. RGB, it's so hot right now. Some of you have clamored for more color options out of Logitech rather than the company's default blue hue, and your voices were heard loud and clear. The G302 will feature 16.8 million colors. Yeah. That's a lot of colors. And you'll be able to adjust the brightness or even have the LEDs pulsate. Or you can just turn off the fancy lights if they don't tickle your fancy. You can do it either way. Wireless mouse fans may be disappointed to hear that it uses a cable, and a braided one at that. But Logitech says it went out of its way to make the cable more flexible than the average braided solution, so that you'd have the freedom of a plastic wire with the durability of a braided solution. You know, I understand from you. You're the consummate gamer that most gamers don't like cordless mice. That they prefer the corded mice.
At this point, it's pretty much up to the personal preference. There are some times when it fails, or it's not as responsive, or the signal gets messed up, and it may hurt you one way or another. But they're pretty accurate. I mean, it's not like it's 2001 and wireless mice are just coming onto the scene and they're all sketchy. They're pretty accurate, but yes, for most of the people that I know, most people that I see, they prefer wired because it's much more stable than a wireless solution, and it will never run out of power on you unexpectedly.
Yeah. Plus, it has all those great little colors. That's all coming from. I mean, that would eat into your battery life.
16.8 million colors. That's probably just from the probably the 3 LEDs and all the different hexadecimal code colors that you can do. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, would you find this mouse to be appealing? Something you'd want to try?
Yeah. No. It's nothing I heard today. Was bad. It's unfortunately there's not a lot of extra keys on this thing that only has 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 on the other side, so there's not many extra keys. But as for just a straight-up gaming mouse with no flair, this thing's pretty cool.
How many buttons do you have on your gaming mouse?
The current one I have, only about 11.
11? Okay. All right.
Slumming it over here.
Okay. All right. So what's next?
Oh, by the way, Daedalus.
Yes, the Daedalus.
In Greek mythology, Daedalus was was a skillful craftsman and artist. He was the father of Icarus and uncle of Perdiccas, and possibly also the father of Aeopix, although this is unclear. So he was the one who created Icarus's wings.
Oh, okay.
And was a skillful craftsman. So I guess that's where the Daedalus mouse comes from, because it is a work of art.
Got it. Okay.
So you were wondering where it comes from. You're like, what video game, or what are they thinking? Apparently, they're thinking back to Greek mythology.
There you go. All right. So what's next? What's that?
This next one. This is an article from eWeek. Apparently, Lockheed Martin claims sustainable fusion is within its grasp.
Wow.
Yeah.
We actually did a story a few weeks ago about saying that Lockheed Martin was on the cusp or verge of finding sustainable fusion. We did that story, but this is obviously a follow-up to that.
Yeah, it's a follow-up to it in some ways. So imagine a source of electrical power that uses water for fuel, produces byproducts that are totally safe, and releases no air pollution. Then imagine that once it's up and running, it will be so portable that an entire power plant could fit in the cargo hold of an airplane. Now imagine that it'll be running in prototype form in 5 years and operating commercially in 10. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. However, it's being built by a group of scientists and engineers in a place that's legendary for doing what's thought to be impossible in a remarkably short amount of time. This place, which is part of Lockheed Martin's aeronautic business, is popularly known as Skunk Works. This is the same Skunk Works that created the near-mythical Kelly Johnson, an aerospace engineer able to head teams that built the SR-71 Blackbird, a reconnaissance jet. That thing is incredible. Mm-hmm. Before any other organization even thought Mach 3 flight was possible. Skunk Works was yada yada, some history behind it. They've done a lot of great things with the military and things like that. So they said they're able to create groundbreaking technology advances through a combination of rapid prototyping, appropriate scalability, and a management environment that fosters innovation without traditional limits. It sounds like they all have like pizza parties every 2 days or something. One other feature of Skunk Works is its practice of being very quiet about its work until it reaches a point at which the group is certain that the project actually works. This is why Skunk Works and its new compact fusion project have the potential to be so revolutionary by succeeding where so many efforts have fallen short in the last half century. So, it's true. They've had this claim has been made before and debunked. This happened back in 1989, where they said they were able to develop cold fusion. That was summarily dismissed because scientists could not recreate the claims of the paper. So, but they said, unlike earlier fusion projects, the effort has the results of all the research behind it, as well as Skunk Works' physics and engineering know-how to create a working prototype. The Lockheed Martin project is designed to take advantage of the practice of rapid prototyping, that Skunk Works pioneered by building relatively small, easily improved incremental projects that lead to a finished product that actually works. So the compact fusion reactor makes use of a magnetic bottle created by superconducting magnets to contain the temperature that can reach hundreds of millions of degrees. This magnetic bottle can then release some of the heat so that it can be used for power generation. Yep. So they kind of go into detail about what's actually going on, how it's going to create the electricity and things like that. But I think the major takeaway from this is, first of all, even though we just reported on it, don't believe it until you see it. Seeing is believing. It's a huge, massive claim that until it's until someone actually sees it working is not to be taken lightly. But it sounds like Lockheed Martin, they have a good reputation for getting things done, and if this is true in any way, then it's a huge. It would be huge news. It would be the biggest news of the century.
That would. Oh my God! Yes, it would. It'd be incredible.
It would just be running on water, producing no bad byproduct, and providing so much electricity that electricity would not even be an issue anymore.
No, yeah, it would basically change the world as we know it. It really would. It would literally change the world as we know it. Would take us off the dependency of oil. I mean,
oil, coal, solar, nuclear, wind, waves, doesn't matter. All of it, hydroelectric. It would replace all of that in one fell swoop and just give everyone as much power as they needed. Yeah. So it's a huge, very bold claim that they make, but it sounds like they're working on it, and hopefully they say within 10 years they're going to have a 5 years working prototype, 10 years commercial availability, and if that's true, that's huge news. But hold on and wait till you see it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, things like this have a tendency of disappearing, quietly into the night. Hopefully that won't happen here.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, our good buddies over at Comcast are at it again. They've just added the PlayStation 4 to its HBO Go block list.
This made a lot of people mad.
Yeah, HBO standalone service can't come soon enough for Comcast subscribers who've been denied access to HBO Go on yet another device. This time, it's PlayStation. I sound like Marty Winston. This time, it's Sony's PlayStation 4, which finally got an HBO Go app earlier this week. So they get the app, they get it all set, and HBO Go requires authentication from a cable TV, satellite, or telecom provider, and Comcast is the only major provider that isn't supporting the service. This again from Tech Hive. This is par for the course for Comcast subscribers who also haven't been able to watch HBO Go on the PlayStation 3 since that app arrived a year ago. Comcast doesn't support HBO Go on Amazon's Fire TV devices either, and only started working with Roku last December, more than 3 years after the app became available. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That is so crazy that these people are paying for a cable service. HBO Go is not HBO. What was it? HBO Now or something like that, which was the $15 a month subscription service. This is HBO Go, where you are currently paying Comcast X amount of money, and HBO provides a service that you can stream it through any device that you own. And Comcast is just saying no.
Well, they've never given a clear explanation for its stonewalling, and as Tech Dirt points out, its responses to frustrated customers have been inconsistent over the years. Right? I mean, the cable Comcast previously told Roku customers, that
they need to work through an employee recently.
Yeah, that they need to work through technical integration and customer service, which takes time and resources. That's a quote. But an employee recently told PlayStation 3 users that the delay is due to business terms that have not been agreed to between the parties. That's just about the big buck, the dollars. In any event, PlayStation 4 users shouldn't have to deal with Comcast's mysterious demands too much longer. HBO is working on a standalone streaming service rumored to launch in April for $15 a month. That's a little more than Comcast's advertised pricing, but avoiding the blockage could be well worth the price premium. There's a little bit of a story behind the story. When Comcast started supporting HBO Go on Roku last year, it seemed like an attempt to appease regulators as they consider Comcast's proposed $45.2 billion acquisition of Time Warner Cable. One of the major concerns with the acquisition is how much more bargaining power the combined company would have, given that they control access to nearly a third of all cable subscribers in the country. But now, it seems Comcast isn't worried about the optics after all, and is perfectly willing to inconvenience customers until its unique business demands are met. So there you go.
Just another day in I don't know. Just another day in Internet ISP paradise.
Yeah, exactly.
Cable provider paradise.
Yeah, yeah. So, what's coming up?
What next? How about this one? RIN Speed. You ever heard of them?
Rim speed?
RIN. R-I-N Speed.
No. What about them?
So RIN Speed reimagines the BMW i3 EV as a self-driving car.
Wow.
So RIN Speed did a fantastic visual recreation of the Tesla Model S as a moving living room last year, and now it has given the BMW i3 EV a similar treatment. The Swiss car restore and conjurer of futuristic concepts has reimagined the i3 as a self-driving car with rather far-out features in a new concept called Buddy. For instance, it's equipped with a robotic arm that can move the steering wheel in front of either the front seat passenger or to the middle of if no one is driving. The robotic arm can curiously wind the in-car watch as well if the camera monitoring it determines that its battery is almost depleted. For anyone who has not picked up on it yet, RIN Speed is someone who redesigns and reconceptualizes cars into different things. So he and this is actually a gallery, so you can go check out RIN Speed. They have 8 photos that are just stunning, and yeah, it's what a BMW would look like if it was a self-driving car.
Driving car. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So real quick, the outside of the car has cameras to check the to evaluate if it has to adjust the ride height, suspension based on the terrain, semi-transparent panels, fancy heater controlled through a smartwatch or smartphone. They present it through the Geneva Motor Show, and yeah, and there is a gallery for anyone who did not get to see it. But as far as futuristic goes, it's one of the best I've seen.
Yeah, it is really nice. Hey, we should talk a little bit about the Harrison Ford injured after his plane crash on the golf course. It's cutting. It's immediate news. We should talk a little bit about that. And also, NVIDIA reveals game streaming grid service, and we'll have a free and a premium tier. That's all coming up on the Computer America Show. A news tip bulletin review from Marty Winston is coming up next after the commercial messages. We'll be right back. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
On behalf of the people of America, we welcome you. Hi, this is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time the ScanSnap SV600. The ScanSnap group at Fujitsu continues to make the best performing end-user scanners in the category, and their UltraStance SV600, looks a little bit like a banker's desk lamp, takes that in a whole new direction. It's an overhead scanner, not just a camera, with a band of LED light that scans across a sheet, a book, or an object up to an inch plus thick, more or less nodding its head to feed the CCD optics. It's smart enough to keep working when you turn pages or flip sheets. Their software is intuitive, if a bit quirky, but happily, it all just works. Bottom line, the new ScanSnap SV600 stand scanner brings ScanSnap's speed, quality, and convenience to whole new realms. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Yeah, Marty, we are Computer America. Thank you for that News Bulletin Review. We are doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. Yeah, we're just going through all the news stories of the day, some new technology, whatnot. But as Craig mentioned, there is some breaking news that broke probably about 4.5 hours-ish ago.
Yeah. About that, 4.5 hours, yes.
Yeah, so go for it.
Well, Harrison Ford was injured after his plane crash lands on a golf course. And I'm looking at the picture of this plane. It's really got beat up here. He was obviously able to land it, but it just got torn apart. It looks like an old, what do you call it?
Single-engine rotary plane.
Yeah, exactly. Evidently, he suffered moderate injuries after the P-22 he was flying solo, crashed, landed. He couldn't. Even the reporters can't resist the puns. He was flying solo, Han Solo. It crash landed at a Los Angeles golf course this afternoon. According to the AP, Ford was breathing and conscious when he was taken to the hospital, where he is listed in fair to moderate condition. Naturally, TMZ is all over the story with a witness account of seeing a plane nosedive into a tee box at the 18th hole, and audio was contact with the Santa Monica Airport control tower reporting engine failure. According to a tweet by his son, the actor is battered but okay. So we wish him all the best, really.
Yep, and for clarity's sake, because we don't want anyone coming at us with any kind of blasphemy, it was the 8th tee box, not the 18th.
Oh, it was the 8th.
The tee box on the 8th hole, not the 18th.
Not the 18th. Well, so
just get every little detail right.
Okay, good enough. All right. We want accuracy in our news stories.
We want accuracy.
Yes, we do. Okay, go for it.
All right. So it's not Harrison Ford, crashing into golf courses, but this is a new study about self-driving cars and how much money they could raise. This one from Reuters, and self-driving cars could generate billions of dollars a year in revenue from mobile internet services and products, even if occupants spend only a fraction of their free time on the web. The study released Thursday was, and by the way, the new study was by McKinsey and Company. The new study also projects that widespread adoption of self-driving cars could lead to a 90% reduction in the U.S. vehicle crashes, with a potential savings of nearly $200 billion a year from significant fewer injuries and deaths. In addition, McKinsey's study warns of several risks to established companies, including vehicle manufacturers, dealers, and even insurance companies. All those will be greatly affected by self-driving cars. McKinsey projects that future owners of self-driving cars could save up to 50 minutes a day, some of which is likely to be spent surfing the web. The consulting firm estimates the additional free time in the car could generate about $5.6 billion a year in digital revenue from for each additional minute that vehicle occupants spend on the internet. Go
ahead.
Oh, careful. As much as $140 billion if half their free time in the car, or roughly 25 minutes, is devoted to daily web surfing and shopping. Which, let's be honest, at least for myself, if I got 50 free minutes, I'm probably spending close to 45 of that on the internet. So,
yeah.
The revenue may be divided among the vehicle manufacturers, their major hardware and software suppliers, and web-based providers of goods, information, and services. In the future, quote, people will be able to shop for services or products from their mobile devices or from embedded systems in the vehicle. They said that traditional automakers, especially the premium brands such as Mercedes-Benz and Volkswagen's AG, Audi, are already beginning to implement advanced driver assistance systems. They face new challenges in fielding fully autonomous cars from attackers, non-traditional companies that do not have legacy vehicle platforms or sales and service networks. Think Tesla. Think Google self-driving car. All these that don't have a back catalog of cars, they're just coming in with autonomous vehicles. They said that, yeah, right here, the outside challengers include Tesla as well as tech giants such as Apple and Google, who both have poised to build themselves self-driving cars. By the way, the gradual shift to self-driving cars, which many automakers don't expect to accelerate until 2025, I think that number's a bit out there because as soon as you make a commercially available private self-driving car, I think that that thing's just going to fly off the shelf. Like they will not be able to produce the number of cars for the demand.
I think you're right.
So they say 2025. I think it's going to come sooner. And by the way, they said that those shifts include among insurers from covering risk to human error to risk of technical failure, a shift from franchise dealer services to independent shops where autonomous vehicles can drive themselves for repairs and maintenance, and fewer trips to the shop as more cars are diagnosed and updated wirelessly. Because really, if you think about it, if you have a continuously connected car and it can drive itself, do itself, you could just kind of say, okay, car every every Tuesday at 6 a.m. same time schedule that Microsoft Windows is on. Go into the shop and get yourself an oil change, a tune-up, tire rotation, tire alignment, and then have yourself back in my driveway by 9 a.m. That means that the cars aren't really going to suffer from poor maintenance because they're going to have so many sensors in them. There's not really a chance that a tire is going to blow, that the oil is going to run dry, that this and that can go wrong from poor maintenance. Because a lot of the cost out there comes from people who don't maintain their cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And that will be a thing of the past.
I think it's a great thing.
Yep. So self-driving cars apparently will displace a lot of people. There's a lot of dynamics in this we haven't talked about. We haven't even started talking about jobs like truck drivers and things like that. There are many facets to self-driving cars, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a huge boon to have self-driving cars.
Yep. I think it will be. And not only it'll also give people who wouldn't normally have the freedom because of physical, handicaps that they'll be able to get around, especially people who can't drive for one reason or another. I think it's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, it's been a long time coming, but I'm glad to finally see it. Microsoft is getting ready to release, or actually have released, the free Office for Mac 2016 preview. Long overdue. Okay. For the last 12 months, Microsoft is focused on getting, its flagship Office suite on screens where it's never been seen before, like iPhones, iPads, and Android tablets. The Office for OS X apps were left behind, though. Microsoft released a new version of Outlook and an official OneNote client, but the core Word, Excel, and PowerPoint apps were stuck back in 2010. That changes today. Microsoft has just released a preview of the Office 2016 for Mac, a suite which will include the current versions of Outlook and OneNote alongside newly updated versions of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. The preview runs on OS X Yosemite. It's free to use, and it includes a tool for providing feedback to Microsoft. Once the final versions of the apps ship in the second half of 2015, users with Office 365 subscriptions will get the new apps immediately. There may be some kind of standalone version available for those who want it, but Microsoft hasn't said that. The new apps take the styling introduced in OneNote and Outlook for OS 10 and apply it to the other apps in the suite. The ribbon interface now more closely resembles the one in Office 2013 for Windows. Office for Mac 2011 was closer to its Windows counterpoint than the older versions, but it still looked like a product from another company. The apps integrate much better with OneDrive than the previous versions did, and they support the standard collaborative editing features present on other platforms. All apps also play nice with OS 10 specific features, including full screen mode, sandboxed for apps, and Retina display support. Oh, they support the Retina display. That's nice on the Retina display Max. I understand
those fonts are going to be so clear.
I understand you actually got to see one for the first time today. You went over to the Apple Store out in Wellington. What did you think of it?
Oh, the Retina display on the iMac?
Yeah, the new the iMac that you just saw today.
Yeah, it was very clear. Like it was crazy the level of detail. Like this is really the first time I've seen a higher quality monitor because I'm used to seeing, first of all, my monitor, which is about 10 years old, and you're seeing your monitor, which is about 5 years old, and just kind of looking around, you see monitors priced at, maybe there might be like a $150 monitor here. There's a value brand like that's like $80 there, but as for a high quality monitor, this was the first time, and it was. Really, the easiest way I could explain it is look at an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus and just imagine that being 27 inches and still just as crisp, just as fine and detailed. The level of detail is crazy.
It was so clear it hurt your eyes to see such clarity.
Not quite. It was refreshing to see, but it did not hurt any eyes.
Well, good. I'm glad. And I understand it was the first time you've actually seen the Mac without the optical drive with the tapered thin edges, which you like.
Yeah, the tapered thin edges were very cool too. Very sharp.
Very sharp. Now, they actually have on this article, they have where the interested users can download the beta, right? And it can be installed alongside of Office 2011 if you're not uncomfortable doing all your work in beta software. Microsoft's Auto Updater will patch the apps as new versions are available. Microsoft says that each build will expire after 60 days, so don't expect free software in perpetuity. Okay, so eventually it's going to cost you something. Right now, though, I'm using Office. I'm using Office 2000 and 2011. That's what I'm using. Mac. I'm still using Mac. Microsoft Office for Mac 2011. Evidently, I won't be able to use the newer version because it requires Yosemite, and I don't have the Yosemite installed right now. I still have Mountain Lion is on mine.
I know it's a struggle, and it was a struggle just to get you to switch over to that.
Well, it wasn't a struggle, but I was running Snow Leopard for the longest time. Thank goodness I did put Lion on because Lion had a lot of problems with it. But
I'm sure.
Yeah. And then I didn't go to Mavericks. I tried to go to Mavericks. That was the one before, and that was unstable, so I immediately took that off. But I understand that Yosemite is very stable now. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait until I get a new Mac, and then I'll have Yosemite on the new Mac, and that'll be it. I don't have to worry about it. But right now, I'm happy with the Mountain Lion.
Okay.
Okay. So what do we got? What do we got?
This next one, and I know, it's like, what year is it? It's apparently a Facebook post written in Florida lands a U.S. man in the United Arab Emirates jail. So a mechanic accused of slandering his employer, which is illegal in the Emirates. So a helicopter mechanic who popped off about his Middle East job on Facebook while at home in the U.S. got more than an upbraiding from his bosses when he returned to his gig in the United Arab Emirates. He was met in Abu Dhabi with an arrest, 10 days in jail, and a March 17th trial date, with a potential 5 years in prison if convicted. 30-year-old Ryan Pate, and apparently he's at the Bel Air Bluffs in Florida, is accused of slandering his employer, which is illegal in the Emirates.
Oh my gosh.
Who knew you couldn't badmouth people?
Wow.
So he has a quote here: "I just couldn't register it in my head that because an American growing up in the United States, the First Amendment right is just ingrained in my brain. I never even entertained the fact that I would wind up in prison out here for something I put on Facebook in the U.S. He wrote in December about his supervisors at Global Aerospace Logistics being quote-unquote backstabbers for some reason. He left Florida to return overseas, pack up his stuff, and quit his job. Police called him to come to the station, and he was arrested the last month. Oof. David Jolly, Pate's representative in Congress, is lobbying for the charges to be dropped, and he's saying that he's facing over an action that was done legally in his home country. So apparently the company, by the way, does not respond to the story, but yeah, it's crazy to hear that Facebook is still getting people in trouble.
And you can't say anything derogatory about your employer?
Apparently not in the United Arab Emirates.
I don't ever want to go there.
And like that's the worst part. It's like he called them backstabbers, and then he went back overseas to quit his job, get his stuff, and get out of there. Yeah. And they arrested him on the spot. It's not like if they had just waited a week, he would have been gone, and that would have been it. But no, they decided to arrest him.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Almost as bad as what happens if you badmouth Computer America.
Yeah, I'm reading some of the reader comments to the story.
We get sent to the gulag, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. I like this one comment says, "And you thought your boss sucked." Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh well, anyway, I guess that's how they do things over there. Do we have time to do another story? Yes, but I do want to take just a quick moment to mention our contest at Computer America. Our contest is in full swing. If you should start entering in the contest now. Just go to our homepage at computeramerica.com, and under the first pull-down menu it says Enter Contests. You'll see our Logitech contest. We have 3 great prizes we're giving away. The third place prize is a Logitech HD webcam C310 valued at $50. The second place prize is the Logitech G400S optical gaming mouse valued at $60, and the Logitech X300 mobile wireless stereo speaker valued at $70. That's our grand prize. You get to pick the color if you win it. The contest began on the 2nd of March, and will end Friday, April the 10th at midnight, and then over the weekend we'll draw the 3 winning names, and then we'll announce them on the air. But really, 3 terrific prizes. You should enter. And the entry form is right on the same page. We made it really simple for you to do it. And then, of course, there's a show reminder winner. Tomorrow night, we're going to give another a Logitech T650 rechargeable glass touchpad, okay, valued at $80. All you have to do is sign up for our show reminder newsletter. It's really simple. It's you just put your email address and your name in there and hit the subscribe button. It'll send you a confirmation email to which you must reply, and then you're in. And then every Friday from that list of subscriber names, we draw a winning name to win this beautiful rechargeable glass touchpad from Logitech. All of our contests are up. You know, they're all free. They're all private. We give your information out to no one, okay, unless you win, and then we'll give them your contact info so they can mail you your prize. But that's it. And then we just clear it all out, and we start the contest over again. So head over to computeramerica.com, enter in all of our contests on our contest page. You'll have a lot of fun doing so, and you know, who knows, you might win something really, really nice at our contest page at Computer America. And while you're there too, we haven't prompted well, check out our free software page. We have all these really great free software products, including the IRC client plugins for our chat room. That'll just format to be more visually pleasing. But we have links to, of course, Slimware Utilities is there. We have links for GIMP and Media Monkey, and AdBlock Plus is on there too. You know, just kind of peruse all the different things that we have to offer at ComputerAmerica.com. We invite you to do so. All right. So now, where are we? We're doing computer technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities.
Yep.
Any particular favorite story that you'd like to do here, Ben?
Oh, yeah, one from last night that we didn't get a chance to go over was injectable enzymes stop wounds from bleeding.
Yeah, this can help save thousands of lives per year. Traumatic injuries like falls or car crashes can cause victims to lose a lot of blood very quickly. The result is thousands of preventable deaths per year, especially among Americans under 44, who injury is the leading cause of death. Researchers at the University of Washington have developed an injectable material that can help blood clot faster and more effectively, plugging up the wound to stop the bleeding. Okay, so when you get a cut, your body hurries to stop the leaking to keep the blood and the nasty bacteria out. Platelets in your blood gather more cells around the wound, creating a mass that is then bound together by a strand-like protein called fibrin. Normally, the clot dries and becomes a scab as the body heals by rebuilding the lower layers of skin. But if the wound is too large, or if clots can't form fast enough, blood loss can put a person's life in danger. The researchers from the University of Washington created a synthetic material that can be injected when a person is losing a lot of blood. Did you remember the movie? Did you ever see the movie Blade?
Was that what? I mean, like a lot of movies and a lot of science fiction uses like some kind of biofoam, biogel.
They had this, so they injected this like a plastic material, and it stopped the bleed because this guy was really bleeding badly.
It's a very common theme.
Yeah, it is a common theme. So, evidently, the researchers tested polystat on a small amount of blood and found that it clotted much more quickly and effectively with polystat. In separate tests on rats that had a major wound in an artery, the researchers found that the rats that didn't receive an injection lost 11 times more blood than the treated rats.
Whew.
Yeah. At the moment, there are a lot of other ways that medical professionals can stop excessive bleeding. You can put pressure on it, okay, seal it up with a gel, give a patient a blood transfusion or a different sort of injection that uses nanoparticles to clog up the hole. One method even uses tiny sponges to clog up a wound. But for injuries where pressure doesn't work, many of the current solutions require specific storing conditions, are very expensive, or clot too weakly to completely stop the bleeding. Polystat, its creators say, is hardier both inside and outside the body. The researchers plan to test polystat's effectiveness with organ damage and find other medical uses for polymers like this one. My only worry would be a blood clot, you know.
You mean like a blood clot going where it shouldn't be going?
Yeah, well, that's the bad thing about blood clots. They go to places where they shouldn't go, and then that can cause a world of damage, you know. Especially if it goes up to the brain. Then,
you know, I think when the choice is maybe a blood clot or definitely losing 11 times the amount of blood, I think that's a pretty easy choice.
Well, maybe yes, maybe not. It depends on how bad the clot can affect it.
Like it's probably not going to be for, oh yeah, I got this really bad paper cut. It's crazy, and you know, how can I stop this thing?
I hate paper.
Probably not for that, but like, hey, if you're in a car accident and you just severed your femoral artery, well, yep, time to break out the good stuff.
Paper cuts hurt. Have you ever had paper cuts? I don't know why they're so painful. They're so little tiny, but they hurt like just a.
Oh, you baby.
Paper cuts are very painful. I would immediately put a clotting something on the side.
Oh, Anyways, so yeah, you know, we have a ton of stories here that we didn't get to. There was another one about nanoparticle coating, which is also hydrophobic, but it also makes it stronger than knives. They're able to hold up to knives. Mm-hmm. So we didn't get a chance to go into that one, though that one was really cool. But yeah, if anything to take away from all these stories tonight, between the injectable gel, self-driving cars, maybe Lockheed Martin is able to get that fusion reactor going. The future is creepily coming very, very fast.
Oh, that's going to be creepily. I think it should be welcoming it with open arms.
Possibly.
Okay. We didn't even get to that NVIDIA gaming streaming grid service.
Yeah, that's true.
That looks. Maybe we can do some of these stories tomorrow night.
Yep.
They really look, and also that one where you can control your smartphone with stickers on your skin. You just put them on, and you can control. You play music and everything just by touching the stickers on your skin. And what about this? The UK wants a really big laser gun. That looks really cool.
That looks cool too.
Yeah, very big laser gun. Well, you know, we'll try to do these stories tomorrow night, and now who do we have tomorrow night? Oh, all right. Now in the spirit of having more academics appearing on the show. Academia. We had MIT talking about Ur Web. We had the associate professor for computer science on the show, talking about that?
Assistant professor of computer science, yes.
Well, tomorrow in the first hour, we're going to have Dr. Tiago Campante. Yes, Dr.
We will be sure to go look up how to say his name.
He was with the he is the postdoctoral research fellow with the University of Birmingham, excuse me, in the United Kingdom. And yes, and okay.
I'm glad we're getting the kinks out now rather than during the interview.
Exactly. It's right up there with Norwegia. We're going to be talking.
No. Bingham has a great university.
Yes, I know. We're going to be talking. We're going to kind of get out there because what's his name doesn't know everything about astronomy and physics. What's his name?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Dr. Tiago Campante with us, okay, and he's going to talk about the main aspects surrounding the discovery of Kepler 444 and
Finally, getting some astrology around here.
Astroseismology and how does it work, and how do you observe the oscillations of stars. This is good for Friday night, I think so. We're going to talk about the 5 planets around
90 seconds
that they were discovered that are Earth-sized, and how they compare to other planets in our solar system. So it's going to be a very interesting show, and there's some surprising discoveries about what they found out with Kepler 444 that you may not be aware of, and we will probe into the existence of ancient life in the galaxy, in our galaxy, Milky Way. Maybe some ancient aliens. Ooh. That would be that'd be fun.
That would be very surprising.
Yes, it would. Anyway, we look forward to having him with us tomorrow, and hopefully you will be here with us as well. Of course, we'll have a show reminder winner of the week. We'll call that out too. It's going to be a Friday night. It's going to be a fun night, and we look forward to having you here. Oh, and Chappie debuts tomorrow too. And don't forget to set your clocks. Was that forward an hour or back? Spring
forward.
Spring forward. Yeah, exactly. On Sunday, we're gonna gain an hour of daylight savings time.
Yay!
It's all coming up. So we'll see you tomorrow night. And so until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
10 seconds.
There he goes.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, everybody, thanks for watching us in the Hangouts again. It was a blast having you here, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Friday night. Have a good one. See you then. Good night.
Later.